Take a slow breath, and before you decide whether any of this is real, answer this quietly. Have you ever heard a high-pitched sound, sudden, sharp, almost electrical, when everything around you was silent? No one else reacts, no device is on, no visible source, and yet it feels intentional. What if that sound is not a malfunction? What if it is a signal? Stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not superstition, and it is not medical dismissal. It sits in the space between neuroscience, consciousness research, and something far older than both. For decades, a woman named Dolores Cannon conducted thousands of deep hypnosis sessions across the world. She wasn't looking for fantasy. She was mapping patterns in human consciousness, and one pattern appeared again and again and again. People from different cultures, ages, and belief systems described a strange phenomenon, a subtle tone in one ear, often the right, followed by expanded perception, sudden insights, memories surfacing, or a feeling of activation. Doctors often label such sounds as tinnitus. And yes, in many cases, tinnitus is physiological. But Cannon noticed something unusual. These individuals did not describe distress. They described awakening. They reported that after these moments, their perception shifted. Time felt different. Synchronicities increased. Old ambitions dissolved. Emotional sensitivity intensified. Now let's ground this. Physics confirms that everything at its core is vibration. Matter is not solid in the way our senses interpret it. At the subatomic level, particles behave like oscillating fields of probability. Your brain itself functions through electrical rhythms, measurable frequencies: alpha, beta, theta, gamma. You are biologically an orchestra of oscillations. So what happens when internal rhythms change? Perception changes. When stress dominates, your sensory field narrows. You scan for threat. You operate in survival mode. When coherence increases, your awareness expands. Patterns emerge. Subtle connections become visible. This is not mysticism. It is neurophysiology. Now imagine that a tone is not external, but internal. A recalibration, a system update. Cannon proposed that some individuals are here not merely to live conventional lives, but to assist in a planetary transition of consciousness. She described what she called 3 waves of volunteers. The first wave arrived mid-20th century, quiet, introspective, often feeling alienated from mainstream society. They were sensitive to density, to emotional heaviness, and many struggled silently. The second wave emerged in the 60s and 70s, creative, rebellious, spiritually curious. They questioned institutions, redefined culture, introduced alternative healing, and expanded awareness into public discourse. The third wave, those born from the 80s onward, often display heightened emotional intelligence, intuitive perception, and resistance to rigid systems. They seem less interested in fitting in and more attuned to authenticity. Whether one interprets this symbolically or literally is less important than this. Many people alive right now feel out of sync with the dominant narrative of the world. If that resonates, pause, because discomfort is not always pathology. Sometimes it is misalignment. Cannon also spoke of what she termed the splitting of the 2 earths, not a physical division, a vibrational one. 2 perceptual realities coexisting in the same space. One anchored in fear, scarcity, competition, control. The other anchored in coherence, collaboration, awareness, interconnectedness, both visible, but not equally accessible. Think of radio stations broadcasting simultaneously. The signal you hear depends on your tuning, and tuning is internal. You may have noticed changes recently. Crowded environments exhausting you. News cycles feeling unbearable. Old friendships fading without drama. Sudden clarity about what no longer aligns. This can feel isolating. You might attempt to go back, to reinsert yourself into previous identities, but something resists, like a butterfly attempting to return to its cocoon. Transformation does not reverse, and the in-between stage, the liminal space, is uncomfortable. Identity softens there, certainties dissolve, relationships recalibrate. This is often misinterpreted as regression. It is not. It is reorganization. Neuroplasticity research shows that when long-held patterns break down, the brain undergoes destabilization before forming new networks. It feels chaotic before it feels clear. The ego interprets uncertainty as danger, but uncertainty is also potential. Now let's return to the sound. Why the right ear? In many symbolic systems, the right side of the body corresponds to receptive input, intuition, inspiration, non-linear awareness. Whether or not you accept that symbolism, the key insight is this: perception is not passive. Your state influences what you detect. As internal coherence increases, through breath regulation, emotional processing, intentional focus, subtle sensory phenomena may become noticeable. What was always there becomes audible. But this transition is not gentle. You may feel as if your old life is collapsing. Jobs lose meaning, relationships dissolve, beliefs crumble. It can feel like loss. Cannon suggested something radical. Many of these individuals are not here to resolve personal karma, but to stabilize frequency, to anchor coherence, to embody presence, not to save the world, but to influence it through regulated nervous systems. Modern research supports something intriguing: heart-brain coherence, measurable synchronization between cardiac rhythms and neural activity, influences emotional regulation and interpersonal resonance. In simpler terms, calm nervous systems affect surrounding nervous systems. You may have noticed that your presence can calm a chaotic room, that your steadiness shifts conversations, that others feel safe around you without knowing why. That is not accidental. Frequency communicates, silently, constantly. The new Earth Cannon described is not a distant location. It is a perceptual threshold. It is accessed not by travel, but by alignment, choosing response over reaction, breathing before speaking, observing thoughts instead of fusing with them, releasing narratives rooted in fear. And here is the paradox: the more you attempt to control the transition, the more resistance you feel. The more you surrender, not passively, but consciously, the smoother the shift becomes. You do not arrive at the new earth. You realize you are already standing in it, but perception must adjust. You may feel suspended between worlds, too aware for old systems, not fully anchored in new ones. That space is sacred. Do not rush to fill it. Do not label it failure. Millions are navigating this same terrain right now, quietly, individually, across continents. You are not alone in this recalibration. The high-pitched tone may simply be the beginning, a doorway into deeper awareness, or it may be physiological. Discernment matters, grounding matters, but if alongside that sound came a shift in perception, a sense of remembering, an expansion of awareness, then perhaps it was not random. The awakening process is not linear. It is cyclical. Moments of clarity followed by confusion, expansion followed by integration. But once perception shifts, it rarely contracts fully. You cannot unknow what you have seen, and you cannot permanently silence what has been heard. So the question is no longer, did I awaken? The question becomes, how will I live now that I am aware? Will you attempt to compress yourself back into smaller narratives? Or will you allow identity to evolve? Take one breath with me, hand over heart. Feel that subtle warmth. That is not fantasy. That is nervous system regulation. That is presence. If something in this message resonated, not just intellectually, but physically, write what you felt. Relief, recognition, skepticism, curiosity. Engage intentionally. Share this with someone who has mentioned feeling different lately, but didn't have language for it. And if you choose to continue exploring this intersection of consciousness, neuroscience, and dimensional awareness, subscribe. 2 videos are appearing now. One explores how to stabilize expanded perception without dissociation. The other dives deeper into how frequency influences reality construction. Choose not with impulse, but with intuition. Because once you recognize that reality is